Have you ever pondered the age-old question, is ignorance really bliss? It's a phrase that's been tossed around for centuries, and for good reason. Its roots trace back to a Thomas Gray's poem in 1742, where he wrote, "Where ignorance is bliss, 'tis folly to be wise." But what does it truly mean? At face value, it suggests that it's more comfortable not to know certain things, that knowledge could bring discomfort or distress. It's this intriguing concept that we'll be exploring today. Why has this belief persisted for so long? Why does it continue to spark debates, inspire literature, and influence our daily decisions? These are big questions, and they're not easy to answer, but that's what makes them so fascinating. As we delve into this dialogue, you might find yourself questioning your own viewpoints. But remember, it's through questioning that we learn and grow. So, let's embark on this journey of discovery together. Let's start by exploring the reasons why some believe ignorance is indeed bliss. Imagine for a moment you're floating on a tranquil sea under a clear blue sky. In this scenario, the sea represents ignorance, and you're just enjoying the calm waters. There are no waves of worry to toss you about, no undercurrents of anxiety to pull you under. This is the allure of ignorance, the promise of a life free from the turmoil and stress that knowledge often brings. Some argue that ignorance is a kind of protective cocoon, shielding one from the harsh realities of the world. You're not burdened with the weight of the world's troubles or the complexity of its problems. There are no sleepless nights spent agonizing over climate change, political unrest, or economic disparity. Instead, you sleep soundly, soothed by the lullaby of not knowing. Furthermore, proponents of blissful ignorance claim it paves the way to happiness. They argue that the less you know, the fewer expectations you have, the less disappointment you face. Think about it. If you're ignorant of the concept of failure, you're also immune to its sting, right? There's a certain freedom in not knowing, a liberation from the chains of disappointment and regret. Another argument for ignorance as bliss is its promotion of a simple, uncomplicated life. The world is complex, filled with interwoven threads of knowledge that create a vast tapestry of information. For some, this tapestry is overwhelming, a dizzying maze of intricacies and complexities. Ignorance, in contrast, offers simplicity. It's the plain canvas before the artist begins to paint, untouched and unspoiled. But let's be clear, this isn't about promoting or advocating for ignorance. Rather, it's about understanding why some might view ignorance as a form of bliss. It's about seeing the allure of the tranquil sea and the clear blue sky, even as we acknowledge the potential storms lurking on the horizon. So, ignorance can offer a respite from worry and stress, a potential path to happiness, and a simpler, less complicated life. It's a tempting proposition, to be sure. After all, who wouldn't want to float on calm waters under a clear blue sky? But before we get too comfortable in our floating devices, let's remember that the sea can also be unpredictable, its calm surface hiding unknown depths, and the sky, while clear now, can darken in an instant. Ignorance, much like the sea and the sky, can be both tranquil and tumultuous. For some, the less they know, the happier they feel. But is there more to the story? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this fascinating topic. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Remember, knowledge is power. Now let's take a turn and examine the downsides of ignorance. On the surface, ignorance might seem like a blissful state, a serene oasis, free from the stress and strain of information overload. But when we dig a little deeper, we find it's not all sunshine and roses. One of the major pitfalls of ignorance is the spread of misinformation. Without a solid base of knowledge, it's easy to fall victim to half-truths, rumors, and outright falsehoods. Misinformation can lead to misjudgments, missteps, and mistakes that could have been avoided with a little bit of knowledge. And then there's the risk of manipulation. Those who are ignorant are often more susceptible to manipulation simply because they lack the information necessary to make informed decisions. This can occur in a variety of contexts, from politics to marketing, and the consequences can be severe. For instance, ignorance about the intricacies of a financial contract could lead to a person unknowingly signing away their rights, or ignorance about the workings of a political system might sway voters towards candidates who do not have their best interests at heart. Another downside to ignorance is the limitations it places on personal growth. Ignorance is, in many ways, a cage. It confines us to what we already know, preventing us from exploring new ideas, gaining new skills, or broadening our horizons. It's like living in a house with all the windows and doors shut. Sure, it's comfortable and safe, but it's also stagnant and stifling. To grow, we need to step outside our comfort zones and venture into the unknown. We need to ask questions, seek answers, and embrace the joy of discovery. But here's the thing. Ignorance is not a permanent state. It's not a life sentence. It's a starting point. We all start out ignorant about a great many things, but it's up to us whether we stay that way. We have the power to educate ourselves, to seek out knowledge, to challenge our preconceptions, and expand our understanding of the world. We have the power to turn ignorance into enlightenment, and in doing so, to transform our lives and the lives of those around us. So, while ignorance might bring temporary happiness, it also seems to carry some heavy burdens. It's a trade-off, a balancing act between the comfort of the known and the challenge of the unknown. And ultimately, it's a choice. We can choose to remain in the dark, or we can choose to step into the light. We can choose ignorance, or we can choose knowledge. And in making that choice, we also choose the kind of world we want to live in. A world of misinformation, manipulation, and stagnation, or a world of discovery, understanding, and growth. So, while ignorance might bring temporary happiness, it also seems to carry some heavy burdens. As with most things in life, there seems to be a middle ground. What could that be in this context? Let's delve into that. Picture this. You're walking on a tightrope. On one side, there's an abyss of ignorance, where you're unaware of the world around you. On the other side, it's a chasm of overwhelming knowledge, where each new piece of information feels like a burden, making you anxious and stressed. What you're aiming for is to stay on that tightrope, perfectly balanced, in the middle, where you're informed but not overwhelmed. This is the concept of balanced knowledge. Balanced knowledge is about being aware enough to make informed decisions, but not so engrossed in the minutiae that it causes unnecessary worry. It's about understanding the world enough to navigate it effectively, but not so much that you're paralyzed by the sheer volume of information. Think of it like a diet. If you only eat junk food, you're not providing your body with the nutrients it needs to function properly. But if you obsess over every single calorie, measuring out every morsel of food, you'll likely end up stressed and unhappy. The key is to strike a balance, eating a variety of foods that are mostly healthy, but also allowing yourself the occasional treat. Similarly, with knowledge, the goal is to consume information that is beneficial and discard what is not. It's about understanding the bigger picture without getting lost in the details. It's about knowing enough to make informed decisions about your life, your community, and the world. This sort of balance can lead to a fulfilling and stress-free life. When you're informed, you're better equipped to make decisions that align with your values and goals. You can take action on issues that matter to you and feel confident in your choices. At the same time, by not obsessing over every detail, you avoid the stress and anxiety that can come with information overload. Consider the news. If you ignore it completely, you might miss out on important events or issues. But if you're constantly tuned in, bombarded by the 24/7 news cycle, you might feel overwhelmed and anxious. The middle ground might be to check the news once or twice a day, staying informed without letting it consume all your time and energy. So, while the saying ignorance is bliss might hold some truth and the phrase knowledge is power certainly has its merits, neither is a one-size-fits-all solution. Life isn't black and white, it's a spectrum of grays. And when it comes to knowledge, it seems the sweet spot lies somewhere in between. Perhaps the key isn't complete ignorance or full awareness, but a balance of the two. With balanced knowledge, you can navigate the world with confidence, make informed decisions, and still maintain a sense of peace and happiness. And isn't that what we're all striving for? Switching gears, let's discuss the power of knowledge. It's a force to be reckoned with, a tool that empowers us to shape our world, our lives, and even ourselves. You see, knowledge is not just about facts and figures, it's about understanding the world around us, the people in it, and the complex systems that govern everything, from the economy to the environment. So, what are the benefits of being informed and knowledgeable? Well, first and foremost, knowledge allows us to make informed decisions. Whether it's choosing who to vote for in an election, deciding what to eat for dinner, or figuring out the best route to work, knowledge gives us the tools we need to make choices that align with our values, our goals, and our well-being. But the power of knowledge extends far beyond our daily decisions. It helps us understand the world in a deeper, more meaningful way. It allows us to appreciate the intricacies of a beautiful piece of art, to comprehend the nuances of a complex piece of literature, to marvel at the wonders of the natural world. Knowledge imbues our lives with a sense of wonder and curiosity, enriching our experiences and deepening our connections with the world around us. Moreover, knowledge fosters growth and development. It's the fuel that drives innovation, the spark that ignites progress. Every great invention, every groundbreaking scientific discovery, every transformative social movement has been born out of knowledge. It's the foundation upon which we build our societies, our economies, our cultures, and as individuals, knowledge enables us to grow, to evolve, to reach our full potential. It empowers us to pursue our passions, to overcome obstacles, to achieve our goals. But perhaps the most powerful aspect of knowledge is its capacity to create change. Knowledge can challenge assumptions, shatter stereotypes, and dismantle systems of oppression. It can open minds, change hearts, and inspire action. It can illuminate the path towards a more just, equitable, and sustainable world. It's important to note, however, that the power of knowledge is not absolute. It's a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. It can enlighten or deceive, liberate or oppress, build or destroy. And so, we must wield it with care, with integrity, with a deep sense of responsibility. In conclusion, while ignorance may offer a certain kind of bliss, a bliss born of simplicity and innocence, knowledge offers a different kind of bliss, a bliss born of understanding, of wisdom, of empowerment, a bliss that comes from engaging with the world in a deep, meaningful, and conscious way. It's a bliss that's complex, challenging, and at times uncomfortable, but it's also a bliss that's fulfilling, rewarding, and ultimately transformative. Knowledge, it seems, has its own unique form of bliss. Now that we've explored both sides of the coin, it's time to reflect on our own perspectives. As we journey through life, we're constantly evolving, and so are our beliefs. It's this very evolution that shapes our perspectives. Is ignorance bliss, or is knowledge power? The answer isn't as black and white as it might appear. It's a spectrum, and we all find ourselves somewhere along that spectrum, based on our personal experiences and values. Personal experiences play a major role in shaping our beliefs. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you wished you didn't know something? Or perhaps a time when you regretted not knowing enough? These experiences, big or small, shape our stance on this age-old debate. On one hand, ignorance can provide a sense of bliss, shielding us from harsh realities. On the other hand, knowledge can empower us, giving us the tools needed to navigate the world. Our values also play a crucial role in forming our perspectives. If you value peace of mind and tranquility, you might lean more towards the bliss of ignorance. But if you value growth and self-improvement, you might believe in the power of knowledge. The beauty of this debate is that there's no right or wrong answer. It all boils down to what aligns with your values and experiences. So, take a moment to reflect. Where do you stand on this spectrum? Do you see ignorance as a blissful shield, or does the power of knowledge resonate more with you? Remember, it's not about choosing a side, but about understanding where you stand and why. This understanding can help us make better decisions and navigate our lives more effectively. In the grand scheme of things, it's all about balance. It's about knowing when to seek knowledge and when to appreciate the blissful moments of ignorance. Life is full of complexities, and navigating it requires a balanced approach. It's all about finding what works for you, isn't it? So, after this journey of exploration, where do we stand on the question, is ignorance really bliss? As we've discovered, this question is not a simple one to answer. It is as multifaceted as life itself. We've seen how ignorance can sometimes be a comfort, shielding us from harsh realities that might otherwise cause distress. There's a certain tranquility in not knowing, in being spared from the burdens that knowledge can bring. But we've also delved into the darker side of ignorance, how it can lead to confusion, misunderstanding, and even conflict. Ignorance can keep us from reaching our full potential, from understanding the world around us and our place in it. It can leave us unprepared for life's challenges and rob us of the opportunity to grow and learn from our experiences. Then, we've explored the middle ground, the delicate balance between knowing and not knowing. Sometimes, it's about choosing what to know and what to leave unknown, about finding the right amount of knowledge that brings happiness without overwhelming us. And of course, we've celebrated the power of knowledge, the way it empowers us, enlightens us, and shapes us into who we are. Knowledge gives us the tools to navigate life, to make informed decisions, and to understand ourselves and others better. It can be a source of joy, of inspiration, and of personal growth. In the end, it seems that neither total ignorance nor complete knowledge is the answer. It's about finding that sweet spot where we know enough to live fully and happily, but not so much that we're weighed down by the enormity of it all. In this dance of life, it's about knowing when to lead and when to follow, when to seek knowledge and when to embrace the bliss of ignorance. Whether you believe ignorance is bliss or knowledge is power, remember that balance is often the key to a fulfilled life. As we wrap up this intriguing exploration, it's time to reflect on what we've learned. We've navigated the fascinating terrain of ignorance and knowledge, and hopefully sparked some curiosity along the way. The question, is ignorance really bliss? Is not one with a definitive answer, but rather a catalyst for further inquiry. Perhaps you found yourself nodding in agreement or shaking your head in disagreement during our journey. That's the beauty of it all. This isn't a monologue, but a conversation waiting to happen. So, let's keep the dialogue going. Share your thoughts, insights, or even counter-arguments in the comments below. Share this video with anyone who might appreciate this intellectual journey. And if you want to be part of more explorations like this, don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, knowledge is power. Until next time.